Welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, new things. Welcome to my newest and latest and greatest, my Glam Gab vlog. Many of you follow my videos and you've watched my Pink Cadillac vlog, which is more geared towards, just like different topics, talking to consultants. This one is more great training for consultants if you're needing product knowledge, but more geared towards customers and people not using Mary Kay yet. So if that's you, hi, welcome, welcome. I am going to be kind of going through just talking you through my routine a little bit. But today, I'm not so much talking about skincare. Today I'm talking about foundation, because that is, when I was thinking about my first one of these, I was like, okay, what is the topic that I think the women have the hardest time with? And just, I don't know, it's foundation. Okay, it's like finding the right shade. What formula should I be using? How do I cover stuff? And friends, today it's a perfect day because I woke up, oh my gosh, I literally have never had this many blemishes on my nose in probably 10 years. And I woke up with like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like just in this area. Like, it's insane. So I live in Minnesota. It's -5 today. So part of it is I have really dry skin, but really acne prone skin. And so when the weather changes, it's not good. So yeah, so we're gonna have a little fun and you're gonna learn some stuff about foundation. So the first thing, if you are not a Mary Kay customer yet, but you're wanting to learn, why Mary Kay products? I'm just gonna be honest with you. I love Mary Kay products because I feel like they're for real women. They really work. They do what they say they're gonna do. And we've been around 60 plus years. So they've had time just to kind of like perfect things. And I'm just gonna encourage you, if you've never tried Mary Kay, to just give it a try. And in the comments of this video, you can go ahead. If you are not a customer of someone else, we do not take other people's customers. That's like a big no in our company. And I love that. And I want to maintain that. So if you are working with a girl consultant, girl, work with her. She knows things. Okay. So work with her. But if you're not working with a beauty consultant and you want to try our products, there's a link in my comments to sign up for one of my fun new Pampering in a Flash beauty sessions where you get to try our skincare and microdermabrasion and just have really glowing skin. I would love to have you on that. But I think you should just try it, because like when people try our products, they're like, yeah, I get it. Okay, so for today, we got to do blemish control toner because, I did cleanse my face, I should say. I did use, okay, you guys got to know this funny thing about me. Please tell me if you're like this. Okay, I have a caps problem, meaning like I'll take the cap off of something and I never put it back on. Like, why does this cleanser need a cap? I don't know, but it's like, I'm not even kidding you right now. I'm gonna show you this because you need to see this. Look at all the caps that I have just sitting on my vanity right now. Okay, don't be me. Maybe no one else is like this. It's just like this weird thing that I do, but I used I'm almost out of it, as you can see, our Voluform cleanser. This is our most luxurious cleanser. It's my fave. It's part of our Voluform line, so really anti-aging. And I just want to say that this vlog that I'm going to be doing applies to anybody, but I am over 40, so we're going to talk about that stuff too. But I do still have acne, so I'm gonna actually tone my face with this blemish control toner. You guys, this is like, can't even tell you. I didn't use it. This is why these things happen. So I'm gonna get those acne areas. It's a little tricky in the winter because I actually have really super dry skin and acne. And if you're watching this and you have acne prone skin, I'm not going to go a lot into skincare today because today's focus is about foundation, but I do want you to know you can actually have very, very dry skin and acne. Okay, the changing day in my life happened when, everybody who has acne assumes that they're oily. And one day I was like, I actually think my skin is really dry. And once I figured that out, it just kind of changed everything, because I was using all these acne products that made it worse. So really this toner is the only acne medicated thing that I use. It has salicylic acid in it. It's like this great chemical exfoliant. We love it. Dissolves all the surface junk off your face. So my morning routine is kind of a little more basic than my evening routine. I don't know if you guys are like that too, but I'm gonna do our HA plus ceramide hydrator. These are boosters. I'm not gonna go into skincare. I told you I wasn't gonna go into skincare today. But these are, so HA is hyaluronic acid, so you've probably heard of that. It's so nice. It just like really hydrates the face without being sticky or thick. Always get your neck too, always a good thing. And then I'm gonna do our new, you guys, we have this no needle like Botox product. I can't even tell you. There's so many results. I'm working on my forehead lines with it. It's 76% as effective as Botox. So I just put it in my, you can tell just put in my little lines like this. You don't have to do it this way. It's just sort of like, I don't know. I like to make a map. Okay, so those are all my lines. Now this only goes on the top half of your face. You don't put this down by your mouth and stuff. And then you just, it's just a nice cream. It does extended crow's feet, so I always pull it out here, kind of smooth that all over. I use so much, okay? Because as a beauty consultant, I get a discount. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and slather that. All my slather sisters in the audience. My mom I actually learned it from my mom. She's like, can I get a gallon of that? Okay, maybe went a little crazy. And then I'm gonna do my antioxidant moisturizer. I actually like to mix our two anti-aging lines. Of course, this is low too. Okay, I'm gonna have to steal my husband's. Don't tell him I told you he uses the pink moisturizer because he loves it. Okay, so I'm gonna steal his. That's the benefit of us using the same one. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that. And then my daytime defender, and then I'm set to go. And then we're gonna talk foundation. So my whole motivation behind, I know you're supposed to rub up, but you know what? Sometimes I get busy. Behind doing this vlog is, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I love reels. I love, like, people are so good on Instagram. That is not me. I was telling my husband the other night, I'm like, Darren, short videos stress me out. Like I feel I'm such a creative person that I'm like, oh my gosh, if I do a 1-minute video, I would literally spend a day thinking about a 1-minute video. But when I make longer videos, I'm like, I don't have to think about it so hard. But also, sometimes when I watch those reels, I actually have spirally curly natural hair. And I've been seeing all these reels of like, create the gel cast and then you break it. It's this whole process to get your hair really curly. It's actually more work than doing it this way. So that's why I do it this way a lot. I'm doing my daytime defender, by the way, which has SPF and prickly pear, and it feels amazing. And it's a serum, so we love that, multi-benefit. But I always get done with the reel, and I'm like, okay, but like, tell me more of how you're doing that. Like, I want more scoop than that. Like, a minute's just not good for me. I need to know like the ins and outs, why you're doing something, all the things. So that's why I decided to make these little, just fun little vlogs about different. So we're gonna start with the foundation, Conceal, Don't Feel. Gotta make fun names, you gotta make it fun. And then we'll do a skincare one, we'll do an eye makeup one. Who knows? I mean, this could be short-lived, this could be long-lived, but just kind of going more into our products. So, okay, so my face is like all moisturized, ready to go. I feel good. And I do wanna make this point just about how you're washing your face. If your cleanser is drying out your skin, it's probably aging you. Okay, your cleanser should not dry out your skin. My cleanser does not dry out my skin. So there you go. All right, we are gonna do some foundation primer. All right, here's my primer. You guys, when we launched this, I've been doing Mary Kay over 20 years. When we launched this, I was like, oh great, one more product I have to put on my face. And then I put it on and I was like, how did we live without this before? But it's a silicone-based primer, so it feels really, really smooth. It feels like this, I can't even tell you. There's cream-based primers too that just feel like another lotion, but these silicone ones are just so smooth. And basically, it has SPF 15, and if you think of all this is how I teach people about primer. If you think of all the imperfections on your face, like fine lines, wrinkles, acne, scars, all the things, like a hole in the ground. This fills in the hole so that the foundation glides over it instead of sinking in and accentuating it. Again, does this have a cap? No. I mean, here it is. I'm actually, this is big for me. I'm putting the cap on. This is a big deal. Okay. I hope you're laughing. So yeah, so it gives you that just like really smooth look. It also controls oil and shine, helps your makeup look at 6 p.m., how it looks at 6 a.m. It's really hard to talk this morning. And it just like diffuses the look of your pores. And I always joke too, 50% of my clients think it smells like hot chocolate. And then the other half are like, no way, it doesn't smell like anything. And then they fight. No, they don't fight. Okay, so we're gonna talk about foundation, but I wanna talk about tools for a second. Huge fan of brushes. We do sell one of those Beauty Blender-esque sponges. Those give you more sheer coverage, which is like equivalent to you putting your foundation on with your fingers. Sheer meaning not as much coverage, like it lets your skin come through just a little bit more. I like brushes because my skin is so acne prone. The bristles are antimicrobial and it's just like, it's so much easier to get them clean, and I like coverage, right? Because I've got, oh my gosh, I've got a minefield on my nose this morning, so we're gonna have to do that. So we do have, this is our, okay, if you were here, I would make you pet this. It is like velvet smooth. It's only 14 bucks and they clean so nice. Like I own so many of these. So if you do have acne prone skin, you're supposed to wash it at least once a week. I'm lazy. Okay, I don't even put my cap back on my cleanser. Okay, so me washing a brush every week, not gonna happen. So my solution, I am going to reveal this to you because I feel like you need to see this. Okay, hold on. It's gonna take me a minute. I just own this many. Okay, because as a beauty consultant, I get my own products at a 50% discount, right? So I just own this many, and then I just like wash them quarterly or monthly, depending on how many I'm using and if I'm at a conference or whatever. So, but I love this one. We do have a full coverage brush too. For me, I'm trying to find one here so I can show it to you. This is just my love. There's a little bit more give in the bristles, so it's just easier to kind of, you can stipple, which is fancy makeup people speak for, dabbing. You can get more coverage in areas, but brushes make you look airbrushed. You can increase your coverage, The other thing I tell my clients too is that foundations are formulated to activate on the heat of your face. So do you want to activate it with your fingers or on your face? So you can actually put the foundation directly into the brush and do that. So I want to talk just quickly about formula. I'm going to mainly talk about 2 formulas. We have a CC cream, okay, and that stands for complexion corrector. It has 8, it's like multi-benefit. It's got 8 skincare properties like antioxidants, it moisturizes. It's kind of like if anti-aging skincare and tinted moisturizer had a cute little baby here. That's what CC cream is. It's got SPF. It's lighter coverage, but it really evens skin tone. Okay, so CC cream. And then, okay, this is not going to shock anyone. There's no lid on it. But our Time-Wise 3D foundation. Now, this comes in a matte and a luminous. I'm going to talk about which one to get, okay, in a second. But this one is a 12-hour wear transfer-resistant foundation. You guys, this foundation, this is everything, okay? Like I've never had a customer return this foundation because they didn't love it. It covers a ton, it feels really light. I mean, this is it, okay? But here's what I want to say to my over 40 gals. I just want you to hear this as I say it. Everybody, okay, everybody looks younger and luminous. Meaning, as we get older, our skin dries out, right? So that foundation comes in a matte finish and a luminous finish. Everyone looks younger and luminous because it adds that jojoba oil and it's like really hydrating and it reflects light in the imperfections, things like that. Now, if you're like me, you're like, okay, I hear that, but I like a matte look. Use luminous products and then use a powder to give you more of a matte finish, but you're gonna get the benefits of the luminousness underneath. Okay, does that make sense? I think sometimes people believe that if they wear luminous foundation, they have to keep it looking luminous. No. You're doing the luminous with the hydration benefits. Even if you have oily skin, there is so much benefit to hydrating your skin more because dry skin actually overcompensates and produces oil. So some of my combination skin clients actually can transform their combinationness just by using something a little more hydrating. Now, depending on how fancy you're gonna be, right? I put my primer on, you saw that. I could just go right into my luminous foundation. But if you have a day where you just know you wanna look good. So today, this is actually a fun day for me. I have 2 Zooms today with Mary Kay Corporate, which is really fun. I'm looking forward to that. I always love like doing stuff with corporate. And then I have a big event I'm doing with my team and my customers tonight on Facebook Live. So I want to look at all day. So I'm actually going to take just a little tiny bit of the CC cream. Now you don't need a lot, okay? So just a little bit. And I'm going to do just a light layer. And the benefit is CC cream actually has a ton of priming properties, right? So that was kind of a lot. I'm not doing a lot, but I'm just doing a little. And then I'm going to do that other foundation over it. I always do my eyelids too because they're a different color than everything else, and it just kind of gives you a base. I actually learned this from a makeup artist that if you do the CC cream underneath, it really evens your skin tone. You won't even notice it because it's like I just did a tiny bit. Sometimes we get a little bit happy and do way too much. Okay, so I'm gonna do my luminous. Okay, you know it's luminous if it's pink square in the back, the matte is purple. And here's another tip on color. Okay, if you are like, I just want to rewind for a second. Okay, a lot of people choose CC cream not because they love the coverage. I mean, this is a really great product. I'm not like dissing CC cream. It's a great product. But I think a lot of people choose it because it's easy, because the shading is very light, light to medium, medium to deep, and very deep. Right? Like any genius can figure out, well, I'm probably either very light or light to medium, right? So if you're in a store and you're buying a not Mary Kay branded thing, you're gonna gravitate towards a CC cream. But friends, I'm here to tell you that if you're working with a beauty consultant, and this is the advantage of working with a Mary Kay beauty consultant, get yourself like I call it a real foundation. Like, I promise you you're not gonna look cakey, it's not gonna be thick, you're going to love this I'm telling you, you're gonna love this foundation. But the reason you don't try foundations like this is because you have no earthly clue how to even match your color. And that's where we come in. We have a great foundation finder tool. This is like one of my claims to fame in Mary Kay. I can see a well-lit photo of you and I can tell you what your foundation shade is. Like I've put this product on thousands of faces. So I have this weird art thing, I don't know. And I can just look at you and I'm gonna know what shade you are within like 90%, 96% accuracy. I don't know why I just chose that number basically, but it's been pretty accurate throughout the years. So trust me on this, try this foundation. You are not gonna be mad at me. You are not gonna be mad at me about this. It's $25, okay? Think of the last dumb thing. You can't even eat at Jimmy John's and get a sub sandwich for like less than 13 bucks nowadays. So get yourself this foundation. So I actually have a warm undertone even though I'm fair. So that's fun. That's always a tricky one. And so I am a beige W100 in the winter time, which we're heading into. I'm a ivory W150. Okay, so your consultant is going to help you determine your undertone and the depth and whatever. So I just like to put some dots, but I do like to start with my nose. Well, first off, because we're having some issues there today. And I debated like, should I put a little makeup on before I do this vlog? And I'm just putting it directly into the brush. Should I do a little makeup so that they don't see my really awesome nose? And I'm like, nope, this is real life. They need to see real life because again, how many of you have watched some type of tutorial and you're like, that's not real life. Like I wouldn't do that. Now, one tip with applying, you always want to rub down on your face because foundation is the one thing you're allowed to run down or, you know, go down with. And it's because you have little hairs on your face. And so if you go up like this, they're having a party every which direction. So even if I'm up here, I always end up down, and even here I end up down. And you don't have to, a lot of people will pull it down here. Girl, if you got the right shade, you don't need to sit and do that. So yeah, and this is layerable. So see how my skin has like a sheen about it? That's the luminous. Okay, now I don't want to live my day with that sheen because it'll get sheenier. Not a word, but I'm making it one today. I'm gonna do a little extra layer. Now again, if you need a little more coverage in places, AKA my nose today, we're gonna do that dab thing. I have a lot of acne scarring on my chin too, so we're gonna do a little thing there. Okay, the other thing I'm gonna tell you about color, I have a theory about this. I think foundation technology in the 90s and early 2000s was terrible. And so we all got like really worried about the orange line here, right? Where are my girls at, my 90s girls? And so as a result of that, we have all overcompensated the other direction, right? We were so paranoid in the 90s about this, or I was in high school in the late 90s, early 2000s, that I find like when I'm walking around Target or whatever, and I'm looking at people, I think most people are wearing a foundation that's too light for them. Yeah, your foundation's probably too light for you. And you know what? If I find one, I'll put a picture in this vlog of me wearing the wrong shade. Okay, so part of it is just getting the shade right. And I always feel really bad when I walk into Target or a department store and people are trying to match their foundation, and they're, they have the little demo ones in the store and they're like going like this with their hand. You guys, okay, public service, this skin is not this skin, like at all. Like they don't match at all. And then some people say, well, then do this skin. No, this skin, it doesn't even, look at it. It doesn't even look the same. Again, the benefit of having a beauty consultant is that not only can we help you find your shade, but if we get it wrong, which 4% of the time I do, Mary Kay has a product satisfaction guarantee, and so it doesn't cost me or you anything to switch that product out and get you the right color. So I absolutely love that. So this is like risk-free awesomeness. Okay, so the other kind of fun hot topic is concealing. So the topic of this one is conceal, don't feel. And my daughter used to be really into, she's 8 now. She's gonna be 9 next week. Oh my goodness. But she used to be really into Frozen, and it was so cute. She would like stand in front of the TV and just like passionately sing all the songs. Now she's like, Mom, jeez, I'm way too cool for that. But I still could name this Conceal, Don't Feel. So we're gonna go with that. But I get asked all the time at my appointments, do you conceal first and then foundation, or do you foundation first and then conceal? You'll notice that I foundationed first, now I'm concealing. Honestly, in all the makeup artists I've followed, been trained by, it's 50-50. So you're not gonna do it wrong. What's your preference? For me personally, I do it on top because if I do it underneath, like when I'm going wild, like applying my foundation, I feel like I end up wiping it off. I don't like wiping it off. Now, I'm gonna use 2 different products, actually 3. Oh, we're getting crazy today. Okay, I'm gonna use 3 things. So this is called Under Eye Corrector. I don't have like real bad under eye circles, but here's what's cool about Under Eye Corrector. It's one shade of peach. Peach neutralizes instead of covers. So if you've got really bad circles, and you've tried using concealer, and then you look in the mirror and you go, can still see it. And then you put more concealer on and pretty soon it looks really cakey. You need to tone correct it first instead of covering it. So mine aren't bad, so I just like to, this is kind of my cheater way. You could do the whole thing. I put a little bit at the beginning, and then I take my concealer shade, which is Deep Ivory. Okay, you don't wanna be too light with this. Then I just go a little extra, and then we put other places. So I have like a little age spot right here I'm working on. Got a little acne scar right there. Oh girl, we got, we're just gonna do the whole bridge of my nose because we're having a day. Got a little something right there. I usually conceal right here. I just got some little stuff. Okay, So that's kind of step one. Now, you could use, probably like other beauty consultants would recommend, so I do really like this brush, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's it mimics a finger. It's actually tapered this way and this way, and it gets the concealer in there really good. So this is the should. I'm gonna should on you right now. This is the brush you probably should use. But I don't know about you guys, like I do this for a living, okay, and I'm like this. Sometimes I'm like, I just gotta get ready. And so it's like whatever's in my hand is what I'm gonna use. And so I've actually come to love using this foundation brush for everything. Okay, so we're gonna do that today. So I like to start with my eyes though, because it doesn't have a lot of concealer on it. And so I'm just gonna dab it out. So I kind of go like this first, and then I kind of bring it down onto my cheek because I do a little bit of tiny redness on my cheek. So see how easy that was? Like that's why I love this brush. And then I'm just gonna, it's just fast. It's not that the other one isn't great. It's just, now if I'm feeling fancy, I'm gonna use that other one. Okay, so I went up again, and then I'm gonna just pull a little bit down onto my cheek. And then we're gonna dab this guy because we need the coverage. Do you already see how my nose is way better than when we started in terms of coverage? And again, on my lip. I just have some residual kind of just acne scars in that area. Okay, now tip number 18 million. I have another, so the third thing I was gonna show you, this is light ivory, okay? So I use deep ivory in places. You don't wanna go too light because then it kind of accentuates the stuff you're trying to conceal. But I like to use light ivory on my eyelids. Okay, so I'm actually gonna conceal out my eyelids. I'll talk more about this when I do one about eye color, but this makes your eye color, your whatever you're gonna wear for, you know, eyeshadows and whatnot looks so much better. Because, okay, here's the analogy I came up with. You know, construction paper, it has that awful texture. Like, well, I'm even thinking about coloring with crayons and construction paper, and it just, I don't know, the sound of it, I don't know, it's like a texture thing for me. But imagine, so concealing your eyelids like this, the difference is basically the difference between coloring a photo with crayons on beige construction paper or white computer paper. Okay, so I like to conceal my eyelids with a lighter shade. So I'm giving my, and again, because I don't even put caps on things, we're gonna use the same brush to kind of dab that out. Look at that, like it is, so this skin right now is significantly lighter than anything else. So it looks funky when I'm just in this moment in my routine, but by the time I get my eyeshadow on, it's just gonna make those colors really pop because we're painting on white computer paper, my sweet friends, not construction paper. Okay, so there we go. And then the last thing I like to do, we're gonna talk about powder. I think it's 90s PTSD. Everybody used powder in the 90s. I'm just gonna tell you, if you're like 20 years old, everyone did powder. It was like weird. We didn't have like these fancy mineral powder foundations. We just had powder, right? So, and the foundation technology was not so great. FYI, I did not join Mary Kay until 2004, but it wasn't so great. Just, you know, I just know that from life experience. I'm grabbing my powders here. And so you had to set it. This foundation does not require powder. It's just a preference thing for me. Now we do have options. We do have a translucent loose powder. It's clear. I'm going to show you this here. It's clear, so it doesn't add any color to your face. It just absorbs oil and shine. Okay, so if you don't want to add any coverage, but I'm like, girl, why wouldn't I want to add coverage? That sounds awesome. Adding coverage doesn't mean adding cakey. It just means adding coverage. So it's two separate things. So I actually have two powders. I'm going to explain why in a second. This is our silky setting powder, and you guys, I don't know what kind of unicorn hooves they shave into this stuff. I'm kidding. Unicorns don't exist. Or do they? I'm just kidding. They don't. It's hydrating powder. There are plant emollients in this baby. So it's hydrating. I have the driest, like I could put Vaseline on my face at night and it wouldn't be weird for me. That's how dry it is. Okay. So I use our extra emollient night cream just so everyone knows, but like just as an example, if you're not in Mary Kay, you wouldn't know what that means. So this is so great because at the end of the day, you don't feel like this. You know, like if you have dry skin, the powder kind of starts to irritate you by the end of the day. So it is winter-ish, it's December, so I'm gonna use my kind of winter shade, which is sad, light to medium ivory. Again, this is where a beauty consultant comes in because she's gonna help you find your perfect shade of powder. I'm gonna use, going to my brush stash, we have this super poofy powder brush. You guys, here's the cool thing about Mary Kay brushes. I just gotta plug this for a second. They're all synthetic. There's some of the newer technology in synthetics. And the cool thing about synthetic fibers is you can use any of our brushes with creams or powders. They also don't break off on your face. So I'm just gonna put a little bit, by a little bit, it's kind of a lot, on my face. I like to start on my cheeks. And then again, I'm gonna hit those eyelids where I made the white paper, just because it'll help. You know, if you have that problem where your eyeshadow kind of creases, doing a little powder on your eyelids makes a huge difference. If you have really bad ones, I would suggest the silky setting powder, or I mean the translucent loose powder, okay? So I'm gonna do a light layer of this light to medium all over my face. Do you see how there's still some sheen about my skin, but it is slightly just, you know, a little bit more matte. It's just more natural looking, which is great, right? Like that's kind of what we want. There's a hair in my nose. There we go. Now, at this point, this is how I do it, okay? If I have really hard to conceal areas, which right now, honestly, this is the perfect day. I still have this one and this one that I can see. I do a little bit of powder, like I just did, and then I go back. It almost like, I feel like it gives my concealer something to stick to just a little bit more. So I'll do another layer. This is only, you know, if we're getting fancy and we have something really necessary and bad. Now this is where, I gotta find it now. What did I do with it? This is where I would use this concealer brush because again, tap, 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 tap. It's mimicking my finger doing this, but yet, you know, it's not gonna stick to your finger. It's gonna stick to this thing on my nose that I want to cover today. Okay, we got important zooms, people. We can't be, I mean, can we just give a hallelujah for the retouch feature in Zoom? Can we just, I just feel like it needs a moment. And then I'll go back in just at the touch of my powder, okay? To kind of blend that. Now, just a fun little tip. I think I discovered this on my own. Okay, you see how there's like a bunch of powder in there? Let's say you've got something really big right here that you gotta cover. You take your finger and you stick it in like a pile of powder like this, and then you just stick it on that area. I'm pretending like this. It almost acts like a concealer, and then you take your poofy brush and just kind of blend it out. Try it, it's life-changing. All right, so now if I was at a conference or I needed my makeup to look really good, or it was like wedding day stuff, I would even do a little layer of the translucent over this. Just, I know it sounds like a lot, but again, you're only gonna do that like a couple times a year because it's a special day. I do have another color of powder that I use. Now, I like to add a little bit of contour to the outsides of my face. I like to do it with powder, okay? The silky setting powder. So I shared with you that I use, so this is light to medium ivory all over my face. This one, this is just the cap of the other one. It's called deep ivory. Do you see how it's like, it's a few shades darker than my actual skin, but I use it as like a bronzer that's not, I have really fair skin. If you have darker skin, you can get away with going even more shades darker. I cannot because my skin is very fair. So, but look at this deep ivory. It's kind of got like a little bit of an orangey cast. It's quite a bit darker. And I like to use for this activity our angled cheek brush. Okay, I'm not gonna necessarily put it on my cheeks, but it just grabs a lot of powder. So I'm gonna grab a lot of powder, and I'm just gonna, when you contour, you always wanna keep it to the edge of your face. So I'm just gonna do a little here, and then, you know, you can kind of make a little bit of an angle right here. But this is my favorite way to give myself a subtle glow without being so gosh darn off. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Just using another shade of powder. I'm giving you all my secrets. That's why I like doing a vlog, because I don't really plan it out ahead of time, but I'm walking you through why I'm doing the things I'm doing so that you can recreate this. And literally anyone can do this, right? There, I think I need a little more on this forehead, that other side. Got a little more. So yeah, see how then, you know, you see this lighter spot. Now, if you need to blend it a little bit, you just take your big poofy brush, just kind of, you know, give it a little blend. There, just like that. Isn't that exciting? So, so yeah, now if you, again, I do not do this daily, all right? I'm actually pretty low maintenance on a daily basis. I'm trying to find a product here. Okay, I don't know where it is. I'm not the cleanest bathroom person, I'm not gonna lie to you. We have a makeup setting spray. If you have a day where you need to look good all day, this is where, you know, you would do that makeup setting spray. So, and you do 4 sprays, an X and a T. And it'll mold the molecules of your foundation, keep you looking like you just put it on. But look at this glow. We covered this. It doesn't have to be hard, but yet my skin feels really hydrated. I don't look cakey in person. Feels really good. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna do the rest of my routine, just so you can see it, but I'm gonna do it in fast time because today's focus was all about concealing. Conceal, don't feel. So, we're gonna start with eyebrows because I like to, when I do my makeup, I like to go in this direction, because if you go in this direction, you're gonna have too many lips because you don't have eyes or eyebrows and too much cheeks. If you're blush blind, we're gonna talk about that in another episode. You know who you are. But if you work this way, you're not gonna overdo your cheek and lip because you have eyes on, okay? Especially if you have fair skin like I do and blonde eyelashes. So, here we go. Guys today. Can't wait for my next episode. I will post the colors I'm wearing. This is kind of my like holiday glam look, but 4 eyeshadows, and I love the coral cheek color. We're gonna get into how corals make you look younger too, and appleberry lipstick because it's like a great holiday shade. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.